Galactic Standard Date. Year 11356. Day 96. Sol Standard Date. 4th of the 8th, 3267. After a few minutes of collecting herself, Draconis walked back through the crowd towards her gods. I can't believe that the Great Slayer himself wants to learn how to use the Veil from this lowly servant of the gods. It makes sense that he only knows the destructive nature of the Veil, though, considering he was forged in the fires of the Veil rather than being able to study it from afar like me. She nodded to herself and looked up to see Tel Aktan walking towards her, with a soulless look in her eyes. General Aktan? She cautiously called out, and was met with a blank stare, as her words seemingly slid right off Tel Aktan. She got a bit closer, and a sinking feeling gripped her heart. General Tel Aktan, she said, almost pleading. It was as if Tel Aktan was but a husk of her former self, as she robotically moved to the main building, and Tel Draconis feared the worst. Did he remove her soul? Did she somehow offend the great gods? Oh, goddess, am I next? If I fail to meet his expectations, my soul will be destroyed or stolen? I must not fail. No. That is a fate worse than death. She hurriedly rushed over to Basilisk, shouldering her way through the crowd. She knelt before him as soon as she was close enough. I am here to teach you how to use the Veil in different ways, my lord. Use this lowly servant as you wish, but please spare the soul of this lowly being, she said, with a slight quiver to every word. Her legs felt weak, and she felt cold, as his gaze burned into the top of her head. She dared not look up. Basilisk watched as the ant literally trembled before him. If she could sweat under her carapace, he was sure that she would be absolutely drenched in sweat. He raised an eyebrow at her and knelt down as close as he could. Is everything all right there, Mr. Draconis? You look like you've just seen a ghost. At that, she involuntarily shivered. Did he just ask if I could see her soul? Did he chain her soul somewhere for all to see? She finished it before lowering her head further and whispering, No, I just saw General Aktan walking away. No souls. Basilisk snapped and chuckled to himself. Ah, ha ha! So that's what it's all about. Don't worry, she'll get over it. She just had an accident. Honestly, it's pretty tame compared to some of the stuff humans have sent me on purpose. Especially since we met the GC, but she's like that now. He shrugged and gave her a warm smile. She was frozen in shock as she processed what he just said. So, he removed her soul for something tame? Is that a warning that he will tolerate no mistakes? It doesn't seem like he's trying to warn me. What is going on? You know what? Fuck it. I'll just try to survive this lesson, and then I'll try to find Tel Aktan's soul. Basilisk watched her as she froze completely solid for a few moments and sighed heavily. He stood up and looked at Amaranth with tired eyes. She's totally got the wrong idea about something, but I can't read her mind, so I haven't a fucking clue what she's so scared of, other than me being a god. I don't know how that involves Miss Aktan, either. Amaranth looked at Basilisk with a questioning glance before turning her eyes down to the ant, who was still frozen in her inner monologue. She looked back up to Basilisk and shrugged with a warmer smile on her face. Does it really matter? She's going to teach you the mortal ways of playing with our fire. That's all we need from her, and that's what she'll do. She will figure it out on her own with time. It's only natural that one would have a hard time coming to terms with the fact that the god they've been worshipping as an insane killing machine came to them as a nice strategic mastermind and born leader, instead of a directed beam of death. Just give them time. With a small sigh and a shrug of the shoulders, he pulled Amaranth into his side and rested his head on her shoulder. Yeah, you're right. Managing all of this while trying to retain a shred of my humanity is a bit stressful. I'm just getting angsty from the stress. I'll try to relax while I learn the new ways of handling veil energies. Thanks for being here with me. They sat there like that for a few minutes before Draconis finally snapped out of it and started apologizing profusely, as if her very life depended on it. Once she calmed down, Basilisk made a rift into the veil, and he stepped through with Amaranth. Sylvana and Draconis followed through. Once the rift was closed, Basilisk sat down and made sure to keep a small membrane around the group to keep the rampaging veil energies away from Draconis. So, have your people ever actually stepped into the veil? Draconis quickly shook her head. No, my Lord Slayer. We experimented with opening rifts like this and accidentally brought death to one of our worlds. Over 100 billion Torvaray died when the veil energies overloaded the nuclear fission reactor we were using to power the rift. We thought that having the rift halfway to the core would prevent any issues from reaching the surface. We did not think that a small amount of veil energy could cause a nuclear explosion strong enough to crack our planet. From then on, we didn't fuck with real rifts. Basilisk cupped his chin in thought for a moment. So, how do you harness the veil energy then? It literally only comes from here. Draconis smiled brightly. My ancestor actually found out how to create micro-rifts that are small enough not to let any dangerous amount of energy through. We then create that micro rift inside of a specialized reactor filter that actually takes that minuscule energy and cleaves it, essentially, and can be used for powering any of our devices or weapons. At the same time, it's fairly safe to expose a living being to the cleaned energy, rather than the raw, and powerful energy that comes straight from the Veil. When you get a long exposure time to the Veil energy and tune yourself to it, you can actually generate it yourself, though it's only the weaker version, and it's fairly limited. Basilisk sat there with his jaw dropped, before he smiled and shook his head. We could have gone further if I just let the other humans test the Veil a bit more, but it's such a dangerous thing and we were nearing extinction. I ended up holding us back. Guess I'll have to reopen research into Veil-based technologies. We just use 0-point reactors like assholes.